Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2017 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open. I'm Mike Flanagan from InsideBowling.com, and I'm joined this morning by Brandon Allred to get us started from Logo Infusion. Hi, Brandon.
Morning.
It's nice to have you back in the booth. I know that you've always been a big treat to have in our booth, and people look forward to having you here.
I'm still trying to figure out why that is.
It's probably because everybody loves you, but I want to thank Logo Infusion for the sponsorship. We'll get into some of the different things that's going on with Logo Infusion here this morning. But we'll take you out to the lanes, lane 61 and 62, lane 63 and 64, as we get started here on this B Squad qualifying 7 games. Last night, we only saw a couple of people go plus, but we did see a 300 game from Mike Kahn. Mike Kahn is your leader at plus 151 on the 7-game qualifying block of the pattern that we're calling the Flying V.
The Flying V, huh?
The Flying V. And I will quickly bring it up on your screen for you to see. We've had some people requesting it this morning in the chat. You can see it's a very flat oil pattern. You can see it's about 26 milliliters of oil on the lane. You see that there's fire and ice conditioner put on the lanes. And people are saying it's a much lower scoring environment than years past of this Logo Infusion IB Open. We are in Indianapolis, Indiana at Western Bowl. I want to thank Mark Schock and all of his entire crew here for having us with the venue change this year. We had 26 bowlers take to the lanes last night. We have 24 taking to the lanes this morning. Getting a squad assignment list at this time. All the folks that are bowling this morning. We do have a lot of talent. So we'll have 50 bowlers completed by around noon today, counting the 26 from last night and 24 for today. And we have a sold-out 130 squad today, which will have 108 bowlers on it. And then we'll also have a D squad for you at 7 o'clock, which we should have sold out as well.
All good stuff. They look flat out hard out there, Mike. You and Doug Dukes put together a pretty good pattern, I'd say.
Doug Dukes from the Cagle Corporation bringing out his flex machines. We talked about it yesterday. And this pattern has been very interesting to watch how it breaks down, as all patterns are that are flat. But this one here, because it looks like a V, we call it the Flying V or the Tornado, some people want to call it. It's been fun for me to be able to watch this happen up here in the booth. Let's talk a little bit about Logo Infusion. Brandon, you've come to this event now, was it 3 years in a row you've been here?
3 years, that's it.
You've seen a little bit of everything here. You saw Tropicana lanes and now Western Bowl, and this year you brought the head honcho, the big cheese, with you.
Brought the boss along for this trip, man. He needed to get out here and take a look at this. This is awesome tournament you've run and put together over the last couple of years, Mike. It's fun to be a part of it.
Currently watching lanes 61 through 64. Bowlers on this squad: Dave Watka, Kevin Williams, David Waswo and E.J. Tackett, John Serbinsky, Kyle Sherman, Matt Sanders, Jordan Richard, Zach Rhodes, R.J. Pollard, Nick Pate, Jimmy Ogden, Brad Miller, A.J. Johnson, George Gohagan III, Charles Easton, Cameron Doyle and Scott Downs, David Counts and Benjamin Caldwell, Jesse Buss and Jesse Bauer, Brad Angelo and Andrew Anderson. So we've got a PBA Player of the Year, we've got an aspiring rapper, we've got an ex-Major League Baseball pitcher, and several PBA titleists in the field, not to mention local bowlers that dominate the Indianapolis area. So lots of great talent out there on the lanes with this smaller squad here this morning. Brandon, Logo Infusion, for the folks that don't know, is located in Las Vegas, right here in the United States of America. And you guys actually make all of your stuff right there on site at the headquarters.
The whole process is done in-house. It's one of our major advantages. We're able to control everything from the artwork development all the way through the final cut and sew of the product. So we consider that to be our strong point, in that we're able to control anything and everything about the production process.
which makes it really cool that you guys now have some new things that have happened since the last time we've been on the airwaves together. Take the folks through some of the new changes over at Logo Infusion. I know you have a shipping situation, and you can get jerseys to people pretty quickly now.
Yeah, we've added a pretty cool product line. It's called our 7-Day Express category. So basically what that is, if you order a jersey from us that's as is, one of our designs that are manufacturer branded on our website, we were able to offer those in 7 days for production turnaround plus a couple days of shipping. So it's a pretty cool deal for the folks that don't necessarily want to wait the 3 to 4 weeks that we offer as a standard production turnaround. So it gives everybody a pretty good option. We're all about choices, Mike. All about choices.
Definitely like to have a lot of different choices, that is for sure. I'm going to take you to what I call the stack shot here, where you're able to see a lot of ball motion all at one time up on your screen. We'll leave it here for a little bit. You see A.J. Johnson on your screen with a Bird Dog Messenger taking out the 10. He's really emerged. He had a show at the World Series of Bowling this year that he really owned that show. He did not get the win, but as far as the comfort level and controlling the crowd, he's a guy who... He made a master show a couple years ago and threw the ball through the back of the building and lost to Jason Belmonte. But he was the #1 seed for a reason. This is a breakout superstar in the making. Over the next 6 months to a year, you're really going to see what A.J. Johnson is made of. He went to McKendree University, a couple of years removed from there now. Has been trying the tour, has had some success, but just hasn't broken through. And that's the type of guy that right now is a player to watch on the professional level. And of course at an event like ours, A.J. Johnson's the type of guy that could definitely take home the title.
Without a doubt. I mean, I've been a fan of A.J.'s for years. He's thrown it very well. He's kind of come into his own the last couple of years. And like you said, breakout star waiting to happen. It's only a matter of time before he punches through and gets that first national title. And then once that happens, I think it's all going to snowball, and he's just going to keep racking them in.
A.J. Johnson bowling with Brad Miller. Brad Miller on the bottom right side of your screen. Brad bowled last night, was second on the squad, finished at 110 over. Brad's a guy who's no stranger to this tournament, as he went to Lindenwood University, and this was a tournament that happened in St. Louis. He's been part of Inside Bowling for a long time, bowled some high-stakes action matches when we first got going. We always root for Brad to do well, and he bowls a lot of squads. He and Kyle Sherman made the trip up together. Kyle also bowling this morning.
Brad's luck yesterday was very, very good. That much I will say. I didn't get to see Mike Kahn throw a lot of shots, but I did see Brad throw a couple of games, and his look was far better than anybody else's that I'd seen.
First prize in this tournament is $10,000. There's a $2,000 added bonus, Brandon, and how could someone take advantage and win that?
You got to be wearing a Logo Infusion shirt, Mike. And as long as they're wearing a Logo Infusion shirt through qualifying, through the semis, and onto the telecast, winning the tournament, they got a chance for that $2 grand.
That's a really cool promotion you guys are doing. So don't forget, if you do bowl the event, we do still take some walk-ins today that you can enter the tournament. You can pick up even some jerseys you have here on site if you don't have one already, and be eligible for that extra $2,000 bonus.
Pretty cool deal.
Matt Sanders and Jordan Richard bowling together in the upper left side of your screen there. Last night Jordan Richard bowled. He's from St. Louis. And we appreciate him coming out and bowling a couple of squads here this year. I'd like to see Jordan break through, maybe potentially make the top 12. See Miller just missed it at the bottom, or a little right, and out the window it goes. And R.J. Pollard you see on your screen on the top right part of your screen there, just left at 210. R.J. Pollard comes from a deep-rooted family of bowlers. You may know Ron Pollard and the Pollards Bowl from many, many years ago. World Team Challenges, USBC, Eagles, and RJ just following right in the footsteps. Oh, and Brad Miller just whiffed the head pin to the right twice in a row. The 1-2-4, uncharacteristic for Miller. Ebonite International also sponsoring the event. This B Squad qualifying is brought to you by the brand of Track. Track in the Ebonite International family of brands. Make sure you head over to trackbowling.com. Take a look at the new products that they have available. They've got some pretty impressive bowling balls, including the Mako at the top of the line. Cyborg Pearl. right on down into your kinetics and your heats. Make sure you check out trackbowling.com. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well, and you can stay up to date with all the great things happening with track bowling. Thank you to Track and all the brands of Ebonite International for being involved in this 2017 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open here at Western Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're talking it over with Brandon Allred from Logo Infusion, and yesterday Ken Keegan spent a lot of time with us in the booth. Brandon, I'm really enjoying looking at all the different ball styles here, and it looks like A.J. Johnson, in my opinion, out of these 8 lanes that we're looking at, has about the best look out there.
Without a doubt, Mike. And yesterday, watching them break down from the get-go, I saw a little bit of everything go down the lane. Urethane from far right, guys playing fourth arrow, trying to open up the lane. I mean, I saw a little bit of everything, and a little bit of everything worked, and a little bit of everything did not work as well. So AJ playing him from where he is was unique from what I saw yesterday, but clearly he's got something. He's got a trick. AJ with 10 back again. After a washout in the first, got the next 5.
I like his look this morning. If I predict he'll bowl this squad and will not need to re-enter at all, he'll be able to just take the rest of the day off and come in tomorrow and be ready to go. Don't forget the top 32 return tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for 4 more games of qualifying with all pins carrying over. Then after that, we will cut to the top 12 for 12 games of round-robin match play. Then after that, we'll have a stepladder final, and we're thinking about moving the stepladder final up a little bit this year if we get it, if things progress and the pace of play is as fast as we think it's going to be. So if you're just watching, stay tuned for potentially what changes could be made to what time we'll go live with that stepladder final. We'll be using lanes 77 and 78 for our championship pair, by the way. Man, that is the weirdest thing. I'm trying to tweet out that we're live, but YouTube hasn't updated the thumbnail for Twitter. Is there a Twitter debugger? Goodness gracious.
Troubleshooting this morning with Mike Flanagan.
Well, you try to send out a link, and when you do and it says boom doubles, even though I've updated everything on my end, it's kind of embarrassing. Looks like we don't know what we're doing.
I know what you're doing, Mike.
I'm going to delete the tweet. Let's try it again. I really don't know what else to do here. Boom doubles. Alright, well, I can't tweet out a link without it saying last weekend's event. Zarnarian 2010 in the chat. Welcome in. Back-to-back weekends of hours of bowling. Yes, sir. Jesse Bus sighting. Yep, sure is. Take you over here to where R.J. Pollard is bowling with Zach Rhodes, Jordan Richard, Matt Sanders. Is that good? Thanks, Craig. How many we got watching? 127 watching right now. Hey, do us a favor, hit that like button down below. It increases our ranking on YouTube for live events today. Let's go see how we're doing in that category. They've changed their algorithms quite a bit. We used to always be in the top 4 every time we went on the air. Something has happened to where
you're making them make a change.
It's like we get shuffled way down the deck. But they're improving all of our archives being on here. So for instance, if you go to the YouTube Sports and you go down to bowling, these are the top 4 bowling videos that they recommend on YouTube all time. You've got that new record with that guy that bowled the 300 game so quickly.
Yep.
Dude Perfect with Jason Belmonte, 62 million views, and then we own the next 2 spots.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty neat. So it's pretty cool to be ranked ahead. We've got 2 of the top 4.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can interact with us. You can also tweet at us, #InsideBowling. Thanks, Crazy Harry, in the chat. Changed the monitors this morning for us. They went to purple instead of blue. They were hard to read yesterday, but when that highlighter is up over the scores, it's difficult to read. It's a beautiful bowling center and beautiful monitors to be able to be seen in the center, but it's a little difficult to read on your screens. Got the 4 lane setup here. We've got 2 of them for you this morning. Lanes 61 through 64, lanes 65 through 68. 24 players on the squad. Attacking the flying V oil pattern. If you want to see more information about the oil pattern, you can head over to our Facebook page. Did a whole live stream discussing the pattern, and we also posted the pattern. If you want to look at it up close and personal, you can also see some other updates that we've done. For example, Brad Miller is a shot of him bowling last night. He was your leader all the way up until the last game, and then he was overtaken by Mike Kahn, who is our tournament leader, coming in today's squad. I also should take a moment, as we were talking about all these bowlers, here's Nick Pate, and there's nobody more on fire right now than Nick Pate. You're going to see on CBS Sports Network Nick Pate doing a little bowling and having some success. Nick Pate, Team USA trials this year. Success. Collegiate success. Saw him bowl really good at the Masters for the back-to-back years. Made the top 64 at the Masters. And this is an emerging young player. And he's so soft-spoken that a lot of people don't know a lot about Nick Pate. But he's got a big social media following. Of course, we switched the camera over to him. He was working on a triple going into the 10th frame, and then he 4-7-9. So if Nick's family's watching at home, we're sorry. But 224 is a good start for Nick Pate, even with an open in the 10th frame.
Yeah, that's a fact. 224 is a good number out of the gate, Mike. Even though you brought the black cloud with you on that camera change.
And A.J. Johnson had a really good look, and we were seeing him string strikes. And he's looking at bowling a 200 game, just 200 even if he can fill it up here in the 10th frame. So not setting the world on fire by any means. but pretty good opening game, really.
Not putting himself in a hole.
No. I've also been looking around. I've seen a lot of missed spares this morning, more so than yesterday even. And in a re-entry tournament like this, I do kind of feel like when people bowl a squad like this, they're actually thinking about how can they get lined up so they can, they're already thinking re-entry.
Right.
So A.J. Johnson does finish with 200 even. Brad Miller can still get to 190 here in the 10th frame. It was 145 for R.J. Pollard. Here is Brad Miller.
Yikes.
Brad Miller with a 4-6. Bounce out of here, head back over lanes 61 through 64. Matt Sanders, Jordan Richard complete. We're looking at Zach Rhodes right now.
He's got a very good game working.
228 in the 9th, strike up in the 10th, second shot in the 10th. Zach Rhodes got it going on this morning.
That's a good look right there.
It really is. Possible 258 for Zach Rhodes to start the day.
That's definitely how you want to start off the day.
Certainly is. Brandon Allard from Logo Infusion, I'd like to thank you for stopping by the booth. We'll have you back in some more throughout the day for sure, buddy. Anything you want to tell the folks at home about in particular before you leave?
Go like our social media pages.
There you go.
Help us out. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
How can they find you? Just go to Logo Infusion, right?
Search Logo Infusion.
And you're there.
We're there.
It's perfect.
All around.
All right, Brandon, well, I want to thank you for joining me this morning. I know you've got some sales and stuff that you have to do here, and if anybody comes by in the area, you can stop by and see Brandon, take a look at the different jerseys and stuff available. Even if you don't purchase, Brandon can at least take you through the process and let you know for next time.
Show you how it works. I'm here to help.
All right, Brandon, thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, that's Brandon Allard from Logo Infusion, joining me for game number 1 here at the 2017 InsideBowling.com Open. Logo Infusion, of course, the title sponsor. And I'll bring Doug Dukes in here during game number 2 coming up. We have no action in front of us. Glad you're with us this morning. Really appreciate all the support of the Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open. Always great to talk it over with the sponsors. Get a graphic up for you for game. We'll be going into game number 2 now. Don't forget you can interact with us here in the chat. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Looks like we're getting ready to get started out here on lane 65 through 68. Matt Sanders up on 67 right now. All right. Thanks, Crazy Harry. Is Matt ever coming back, Mike? Just curious. Oh, he could. Yeah, he could. Good question. Talking about Matt Turek. Got a little extra action here. We'll go with the Kevin Williams pair. Kevin Williams and Dave Wadka. Dave Waswo and E.J. Tackett. Cruising right along, game 2 of 7 of this B squad qualifying, and now I'm joined in the booth from the Cagle Corporation, another great sponsor of this event. Doug Dukes, master of all, master of patterns, and we saw the Flying V last night. Doug, what did you think from watching from your hotel room?
It's pretty interesting. Kind of what I thought. Score's obviously going to be a little lower than they have been in the past. I saw some guys attack it the way I thought they would, and a couple that didn't, but I think the scores showed the difference.
If you booked a bet last night on whether or not there would be a 300 game, you had pretty nice odds coming back last night. Hit the pay window with.
I'd have probably lost money on that one.
With 300 with Mike Kahn.
Yep. No, I'd have probably lost money, but hats off to him. It's to do that on this pattern is a pretty good feat.
Dave Wadka bowled last night, struggled a bit. Now this morning, I don't know what he had game 1. I wasn't paying attention, but so far he opens with a double. So maybe this second attempt for Wadka could catapult him, get a little momentum going. He doesn't look too thrilled this morning, as he hasn't been bowling so great recently, he says. He says his last time he bowled good was last year at this event when he made the finals.
I think he'll be just fine. I can see him making the cut, no problem.
See the reigning PBA Player of the Year, EJ Tackett, who's really emerged to become, you know, one of the top names on the professional tour. You know, before the last 12 months, I would say EJ was one of the top bowlers, but now he's one of the elite.
No question. Watching him on TV and being able to see him in person, he's phenomenal, and he's an all-around nice guy too. I'll never forget the first event I did for you, and you know, I don't think he bowled that well, but came up to me after the event, shook my hand, and said thanks for all you do. So he's a great all-around guy.
There's Kevin Williams, two-handed lefty there, attempting his spare. Let's see how EJ attacks this pattern. Sliding almost into the left gutter. Let's take a look at it one more time. Just tack it out to about a little farther right than I would anticipate, but he's got that high rev rate.
I saw a lot of the same things I saw last night too. You know, 3 in a row, 6-2, double, 6-2. You definitely have to focus on every shot with this.
Craig Carter asks, is the Flying V living up to expectations regarding the scoring pace?
That's more of a question for you.
I think so. I think so. I remember discussing with you, Doug. I said I called it the Flying V, and you said that looks like a tornado too.
That's what I had it labeled as in my archives.
Well, if you run it anywhere else for any tournaments, you can call it tornado there. But here we're calling it the Flying V. It's playoff hockey season, and it's a nice throwback to the Mighty Ducks movie.
There you go.
Gabrielle Stewart in the chat chimes in and says, the bowling is good. And we appreciate that comment. We like to think the bowling is good, the people are good, the bowling center is good, and Better Than Ezra sings a song called Good. You familiar with that song, Doug?
I've probably heard it on the radio.
Okay. Brett Shepard wants to know if the parking lot is flooded yet. It's flooded with vehicles. And all the spectators in here watching today. Brett. How many re-entries from last night? Well, that's a good question. I could probably figure that out for you. Wadka, yes. Sherman, yes. Sanders, yes. Richard, yes. Miller, yes. Five. Ask and you shall receive. Quick math. Doug, how long does it take for the 2 flex machines that you have to oil, say, 50 lanes?
Roughly, from the time I actually hit the button, 45 to 50 minutes.
Then how long do you like to see the lanes sit before any balls go down?
Usually minimum 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
You know, they have about, usually the morning squad, they'll have about 45 minutes to an hour. I think I finished right around 7 a.m. this morning. But by 15 minutes, anything that's used to adhere the product to the lane is going to be evaporated, and they'll be the same from 15 minutes on.
Okay. And what's the reasoning for having it sit for a little bit? What does that do?
Well, when you first put the product out, it kind of stands up. If you were to compare it to something, it'd be like a freshly waxed car and having it rain. It'll bead, and then as it sits on the lane, it'll actually bond to the surface and kind of spread out in layman's terms. So that's what we look for. And then once that's happened, you know, there's nothing that changes after that. The big misconception is that the longer you let them sit, the oil actually evaporates, but oil doesn't have an evaporation rating. What you normally see is the longer you let them sit, the more they'll hook and the faster they'll break down, but a lot of times that's from the particulates that are actually in the air that end up landing on the lane surface, and it kind of acts like sandpaper, so to speak, if you let them sit too long. That's why we never oil the night before, even if we have to come in at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, too much dust.
Yep.
Too much debris in the air. Some bowling centers we go to, it's so dusty in there that after streaming all day, you can literally go back to your hotel room and just wipe off your face, and you got dust. I mean, I'm not kidding.
I don't know if I've been to one that bad yet, but you can definitely tell the difference in centers. And it's not that the centers are dirty. It's a lot of times it's how their ventilation is set up. If they have air ducts over the lane surface, things like that. But I can tell it when I clean the machines after a run. How dirty the cushion roller is, how dirty the buffer brush is, or how much it wears.
All right, we got scores after game number 1 here, Doug. 12 of the players are plus, which is pretty similar to what we had last night. So big first games. Charles Easton, 259. Zach Rhodes, 255. Nick Pate, 224. Brad Angelo, 222. Andrew Anderson, 218. Jesse Bauer, 214. George Gohagen, 207. John Zerbinski, 206. Matthew Sanders, 202. Cameron Doyle, A.J. Johnson, and Kyle Sherman all bowled 200 even. And what's funny about that is all three of them have very similar styles.
Interesting. Nice little string going on 61 as well now. Front 6, it looks like.
Yeah, and that's Dave Watka, who we were talking about. He started with the double.
Oh, there we go.
Old Wadskis, that's what we like to call him.
He's a good guy. I had some good conversations with him this morning, actually.
Matt McNeil is not bowling this year that I'm aware of. Zeke Bate also I don't see on the roster. If they have prior commitments bowling something else. EJ Tackett looking for 4 in a row. That ball duck hooked off the end of the pattern there a little bit, but high flush strike for EJ. Wadka now. Oh, stuffs a 9. There's Tackett. You know, I'm just going to say right now, that's going to be tough to beat in this tournament, what EJ Tackett just did.
He's a machine, there's no question.
He's getting the ball to recover where other guys can't.
That's why he's one of the elites.
Dave Waswell, he runs the Bowlers Show. Been on the show many, many times. Also very involved with Logo Infusion. I want to thank Dave Waswell for making the trip up from Kansas City, Missouri. Now here's Watka. Let's see if he can get back on it.
We'll mixer.
Watka never looks happy. I mean, he's got 7 of the first 8 strikes. After the last time he bowled last night, he didn't bowl good. And now he's stringing strikes. He should be jumping around. He should have Mexican jumping beans and his Dr. Scholl's in his shoes.
It's all part of the mental game.
He's got the frosted tips working right now, too, in his hair. And it matches his jersey.
At least he's got hair, man.
That's true. Looks like maybe going to get some remote content from next member of our broadcast team. Brian Burkhart's going mobile with the wireless camera. See what he can get. Just enjoying watching ball reaction up here with you. See Brad Angelo. Brad's actually my pick to win the tournament. Before the tournament even started, he was my pick to win.
All right. Well, I have my cut number, written down in my bag. I won't share it.
When did you figure out the cut number?
Before I left the building last night.
Okay. After 3 games, I came up with a cut number at top 32. I'll tell you mine, and you just hang on to yours, okay?
Yep.
61.
Okay. We'll see.
Am I in your neighborhood?
You are, actually.
Okay. 61 over. That's what I'm predicting as a cut score. Brian, you just let me know if you got something that you're doing. Did the string end? Okay. So what Brian's doing is he's keeping an eye on big scores And if he sees it, he'll take care of it. It's perfect.
Oh, look at that pin carry.
I'm standing back up, Doug. I was just doing that to frame for he's trying to frame a shot.
Oh, you're all right, man.
All right, so here's Dave Watka. Actually, you know what? We're going to take a look at Watka's game. Standing near the middle of the lane. You're going to see the way Dave steps, goes left, comes back a little bit to the right, and misses right. And there he is with a 2-4-10, staring at a 2-4-10. Missy, his girlfriend over there hanging out, saying that that shot was all my fault. Sarah McCarthy bowling. No, she's bowling PWBA. Yes, you're correct in the chat, Craig. Good morning from Massachusetts. WSU mom, good morning. All squads combined is where we're going to get our cut from. I wonder if I need to widen that. Whoa, that's really weird. Uh-oh. What is going on here? Oh, there we go. I have no idea. All right, we're just going to let that be. So Dave Watka opens in the 10th frame for, what is that,
228 maybe?
I think so.
26?
EJ Tackett's working on 280. Kevin Williams can still bowl 247. Wraps a 7. Dave Waswo can bowl 208. This pair is a little bit ahead of our other pairs, 65 through 68. We'll go there next year in game number 2. Scores appear to be a little bit higher this morning.
Some good players in the field this morning. And some of them got the opportunity to see the mistakes made last night as well. So I saw a lot of scouting going on.
Yeah, I saw Andrew Anderson walking around, H.A. Johnson, several folks walking around. Cameron Doyle's father was also here watching. The next squad is where it gets fun. 50 bowlers between the first two squads and 108 on the next squad.
There we go.
So Kevin Williams can fill it up for 227. And he does. EJ Tackett still working on 280. EJ, the first game, bowled 186. He can almost get the Century Award. Going to fall a little short. Century Award, of course, is when you improve your score by 100 pins or more.
Yeah.
186. He's just out there just throwing strike after strike now. I'm EJ Tackett, and I approve this message. Switch you over a pair here. Take a look at Kyle Sherman before EJ goes. Kyle Sherman looking for a double. He's got a double. He can still bowl 223. Back over to Tackett. $279 for EJ Tackett.
Well, let's see if we can keep it up for the next 5.
We shall see. Through lane transition here on this flying V oil pattern. Over to 66, you see John Zerbinski. You know, this is another guy kind of like A.J. Johnson. He's been out there a little bit longer than A.J. We were talking earlier about how A.J. Johnson is a player to watch right now as far as breaking out on tour. John Zerbinski is another guy at any time could really break out on tour. Wouldn't surprise me if he rattled off a couple of titles.
No question, he's a quality player. You know, obviously bowling on the Team USA squad and bowling on the tour. I'd expect he's, you know, watched him in the Open and the Masters and his places there. He's only a couple shots away from doing something big.
Zerbinski can still bowl 212. Kyle Sherman can bowl 223 here as we're winding down game number 2. Talking it over with Doug Dukes here in the booth from Cagle Corporation. He's been putting the lane pattern down for us. Just overhauled the 2 flex machines.
Ready to go out to Wichita for the tour when I start that stop up.
So Zerbinski, the best he can do now is get to 190. So 190 for John Zerbinski. Possible 223 for Kyle Sherman. Oh, on a blower 710 and a 10th frame. That's tough. That's tough when you go strike, spare, convert a split, 7 spare, strike, spare, spare. You get a double going in the 10th frame. And then you throw one in the pocket, send messengers left to right, and you leave 710.
Saw a couple of them last night.
It's just really unfortunate. Bad timing.
And
oh!
He almost made it.
Wow, I set that up beautifully too right there. That was almost really cool. Close only counts and what?
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
I think so. Now here's Watka back. He's coming right in over here on 67 and 68 to start his game number 3. We are in game number 3 now. Doug Dukes from Cagle Corporation joining me. Doug, I don't want to keep you for too long. I want to bring you in for a game, talk a little bit about this pattern and what's going on. So let you scoot out.
Yeah, no worries. I actually
get some food and what you need to do there.
Have some patterns to work on for some tournaments.
Oh, nice.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate everything, and hopefully I'll see you on the next squad.
Yes, for sure we will. That's Doug Dukes from Cagle Corporation, spending a little time with us in the booth, just talking about the pattern and how it's laying down. And every single lane has got the same thing on it, and that's why we have Cagle here. Don't forget, as we mentioned yesterday, ask your bowling center what type of lane oil and cleaner that they're using and what type of lane machine they're using. Make sure it's a Cagle product. Cagle gives back to bowling just as much as anybody out there. That is for certain. We appreciate what they do for us. We'd like to pass on the love to everybody out there in the bowling world. So we'll have Kevin Williams, Dave Wadka for you, Andrew Anderson, Brad Angelo. Start out game number 3. I want to say hello to Sean Bibby here in the booth, or I'm sorry, in the chat. He says, got the dash cam set up as I drive in from just north of Detroit. Excited to bowl this afternoon. We're excited to have you. And Alan, yes, we know. We're working with them as best as we can for that. My dude Andrew, he's a stud here in the chat as well, being mentioned. Cruising right along here, game number 3 at the 2017 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open here at Western Bowl in Indianapolis. I'm Mike Flanagan. We've talked it over with Brandon Allred a little bit this morning. Talked it over with Doug Dukes, talking about the oil pattern here. Doug Dukes from Cagle, of course. And now joining me back in the booth. Spent a lot of time in here yesterday, 6 games to be exact. Ken Keegan's back. Did you get a good night's sleep last night, Ken?
I did. Let's see, you got me in here at 6:10 this morning. Not bad for the West Coast time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I got a good night's sleep, and I'm excited. It's going to be a long day. Long, exciting day. Are you ready for today?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am. I prepare for these things.
Like sit-ups and push-ups and
I wish.
And what you watch what you eat and everything?
I wish.
Okay.
I wish. I really do. Andrew Anderson spent some time in the booth last night, as a matter of fact. Anderson, after his first game, bowled 218, and we'll find out what he had game 2 here shortly. Brad Angelo making the trip down from New York.
We got some amazing talent here.
It's a good morning of bowlers, that is for sure. Got the current PBA Player of the Year, just bowled 279 the last game.
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to the next squad. It feels like the tournament starts on the next squad. Andrew down there just grabbing the mic,
yeah.
Just wanting to talk to us.
Yeah, oh, it's live.
Sorry, folks at home. That was Andrew Anderson wanting to say something on the mic. These youngsters, they don't really have anything to do. Like they want to fidget with their phones. They want to drink their water. And then they're just constantly looking around for something to touch or move or.
Yeah, well, those days are gone for me, sir. It's just moving is a goal.
It's enough. Dave Watka with a much improved game last game. And now, yeah, he's got a good look.
He's got a really good look.
Strike, 2 spares, and a double. And bowling with Kevin Williams, the two-handed lefty. Kevin with a triple and a spare. Angelo starting to get it going here, getting his ball to see the lane.
All the cobwebs are getting worked out this morning.
Two-handed bowler says, I see the big hook is in play again this morning, Mike. Yeah, the big hook is actually in play, which is a little surprising.
Craig says youth with 4 exclamation marks.
Definitely a youth movement.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely the future, that's for sure.
If this can continue for the next 20 to 30 years of just an influx of youth, and there's no gap, bowling's competitive level bowling is in for some really good years ahead.
I agree. You know, just I think in general that everyone just kind of lost grip a little bit. You know, I think there was the height of bowling, and things were good, and it started going away. And I don't. At the end of the day, I don't know if anyone knew what to do with it when it was decreasing. You know? So, but it's exciting to see this. I mean, there's competitive bowling definitely feels like it's on the rise. The talent is amazing. And I've attended a lot of junior events recently, and what's coming is very impressive.
We'll share the love here a little bit. We'll take it over lane 61 through 64. We got Jesse Buss with Jesse Bauer. And then we've got David Counts and Benjamin Caldwell bowling right next door. As I look at the list up and down on this squad, one name stands out to me just because it was a real treat for me at the Bradley this year. I got to spend time with him in the booth and talk to him about his real job career that he has now retired from, which is Major League Baseball, and that's Scott Downs. He's a reliever in the major leagues and just a heck of a nice guy. Really loves bowling.
Well, so over the last decade, there's been a nice influx of sports stars from other professional ranks, getting involved with bowling. I would imagine that's got to help us, just bring some notoriety to it.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how when you are athletic, how quickly you can get up to a certain level. So what do you think? How many PBA titles do we have bowling this morning?
Well, Angelo, I think,
He's got a couple. Watka's got
one, which is kind of odd. You'd think Dave Watka would have more than one. He's made some shows over the years. He's just been a veteran out there.
Right.
Got Angelo as a titleist.
Well, we focus on the wins, but if you look over time, I would tell you that
A lot of shows.
Dave's been pretty consistent over time.
This is the time of the day where my tournament staff starts trying to mess with me.
This early?
Yeah. It's hilarious. Did you guys open it? Did you get... Okay. Little off-air story here. If you were here in person, we would have shared it with you, but
Yeah. Well, we'll leave that as a private discussion.
yeah.
But funny.
If you're just joining us, Ken Keegan here in the booth with me. I'm Mike Flanagan. Thanks for tuning in to Inside Bowling here in Indianapolis, Indiana on a rainy weekend here at Western Bowl. I feel safe in here, though, even with all the cloud cover and the thunderstorms that we've had.
This is an amazing facility. 80 lanes.
It really is, all in one straight shot.
Well kept, clean, beautiful center. Even when we left last night, it was probably, about 10:30 or so when we left last night?
Yeah.
Place was jumping.
Sure was. Okay, I've got standings update after game number 2 here. Charles Easton, your leader, at plus 81. Brad Angelo in second at plus 68. Third is E.J. Tackett at plus 65 after that big 279 game. Fourth is Zach Rhodes at plus 51. Fifth, Jesse Bauer at plus 39. George Gohagen moves up. He's at plus 31. Wadka with 220, or he's at 24 over, but he had a big, nice last game to get him moving up here in the standings. Nick Pate, 23 over. Kevin Williams, 11 over. 9 of your 24 this morning are plus.
It's a little bit different from last night.
Yeah, and if you want to see the standings, you can head over to InsideBowling.com and go down underneath the event information tab, and you can see how your favorite bowler is bowling. I want to say hello to Kyle Troop in the chat this morning as well. Take a look at Watka here, and every time we seem to do that, we cloud him as he just runs over the rack for a 7-pin. Brad Angelo in second. We happen to have him up on your screen right now on the left side. Brad Angelo this game, strike, couple of spares, a double, a spare, and a double working right now going into the 9th frame, trying to set it up for himself here in the 10th. Let's see if Angelo can get his first turkey of this game number 3. And that's a typical leave here when you either miss a little bit at the bottom or gun it a little bit or just miss a little to the right. It's very easy to leave a 2-pin combination. And
Dave Watka just wasted an opportunity to pick up a 7-10.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah,
It was bounced out.
picked up the 7 would have taken out half of the right side of the rack. So, wasted opportunity.
And there's a 210 pickup for Brad Angelo. Brad Angelo is just one of those guys that over the years has just been one of those crafty veterans. I remember watching him in the mid-90s, bowling for Team USA, bowling with guys like Chris Barnes and Pat Healy, Bill Hoffman, guys like that.
Bill Hoffman, there's a name. I haven't seen him in a long time.
I think he's doing a lot of work overseas.
Okay. He has an approach that if you've seen it once, you could be anywhere and know that it was him.
Yeah. But Angelo's he's just the type of guy. I've watched him in PBA events when I go and cover PBA events. He's a guy that always finishes strong and ends up making shows, and he can get the deal done. And I know Brad. He's actually one of the most funniest characters I've ever met. He gets me almost crying laughing with his sense of humor. I remember there was a particular time that he and I went out to eat with a group of people, and neither he nor I really wanted to dine where we went that evening, but I wasn't going to be bold enough to say anything about it as it was being treated by some other folks. And after we ate the food, and neither one of us liked it very much and didn't have a whole lot of it, he didn't even wait to get back to the hotel. He actually dialed the pizza place from the back of the car with the other people in the car that took us to dinner and started dialing and ordering a pizza. And was asking me specifically if I wanted to have any because he knew I had to be hungry because we just ate this godforsaken food. Meanwhile, I'm struggling to keep it together in the back seat of the car while he's ordering this pizza. And my Twitter handle used to be Slammy Global, and he could never remember it. So he just started calling me Slappin' Slammy Flappy Flap, which I don't even know what that means. And Brad Angelo and I just get to giggling when we start talking about stuff. And and here he is, you know, bowling this morning. And he's actually, I said before the tournament, he's my pick to win.
Now 2 pairs to the right of him. Mr. Tackett's getting ready to shoot 270 again here.
Is he really?
277.
So
Looks like he
EJ Tackett.
he had the front 8. And there's a future unhappy bowler just walked by.
Yeah. So
One
EJ
thing
Tackett.
about a baby crying that's very similar. That's a very similar characteristic to a bowler struggling on the lanes.
That's true. EJ Tackett improves to plus 142 after that 277 game. Started out with a 180 game, and then 279 and 277. So he's got it going on. Now here's Angelo. He knew it was bad off his hand, but gets away with it.
Yeah.
Crosses
Well,
over.
he's from New York, so Brooklyn is.
That's right.
Well, it's a different part of New York, I'm sure. I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate me saying that, being a northern from upstate.
Yeah, I think you're right. Dave Watka just made a really bad shot and was fortunate just to leave the 2-pin. Covers it.
Yeah. See, he was practicing for the 210.
He's still got 237 left here, though, and that would improve him to 59 over. Or actually, 230. What has he got? 237, I said?
Yeah.
That would take him to 71 over?
37.
I don't know. My math's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is. 61, sir.
61, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just adding 10 pins to everybody's score.
I'm pretty good at math, but you got me confused. So what's going to happen today? Is this someone's going to be plus a bunch?
Oh, somebody always matches up.
Okay.
Somebody will match up. Might be EJ Tackett.
Well, would you be surprised?
No, not whatsoever.
There's 10 guys here. I wouldn't be surprised if any of them were 300 over.
Brad Angelo, possible 224 if he fills it up.
He's just a classic grinder.
Yes, he is.
Never out of it. Always in it at some level.
That's right, 220.
Do you think Brad Angelo has ever thrown a game under 170? Ever?
I'm sure he has.
Okay.
But I'm sure he followed up at 230.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the funny thing about Brad Angelo's name that I haven't really quite put my finger on how to twist this around, he's never bowled our event before, so this is the first time.
Well, I thought you were referring to the fact that Angel is part of the name. So
no,
so this wasn't a joke.
No, well, it is a joke,
Okay.
but I was going more with when Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were together.
Ah.
They became Bradgelina.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out what to do with Brad Angelo, considering there's a Brad and an Angelo as opposed to Ina.
Now, I'm not completely up to date on all this stuff, but usually there's two people involved when you combine names.
Yes.
So are you implying that he's two people, or?
I don't know.
Okay.
And then, you know, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Aniston used to be or J-Lo used to be together,
Yeah.
and it was Benifer.
Jennifer.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure all that out.
You know, my wife's name's Kathy, and my name's Ken, and pretty much she's in charge is our name. So.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Oh, while we're waiting for players to get out to the lanes and where they're going, I see Scott Downs heading over to the little beverage station here over to the right, picking himself up an early morning Gatorade pick-me-up.
There you go.
I'm Mike. This is Ken right here from Logo Infusion. Don't forget, if you would like to get a Logo Infusion jersey, all the different things they can do. They can print anything that you want. You can talk to their folks. You just go to logoinfusion.com, get the information. You can call. You can go to the website. You can do whatever you like. They've got free shipping on all orders now. But you can save 20% with coupon code IBOPEN17. IBOPEN17. You can save 20% through the end of May. Hashtag support the sponsors is what we like to say around here. And why not head over there and support the sponsor and get yourself a jersey. You can design them all different ways. This year, our staff shirt here went a little more traditional. Nothing too wild. It's very traditional, very sporty. I like to be able to wear these shirts at events that I'm working and things like that. And this is a shirt style that I feel very comfortable not changing out of to go to dinner and things like that. So you can design them however you like. That's just how I prefer to design the shirts when I work with the team at Logo Infusion. And it's a pretty awesome system you have set up there.
We are working on some new concepts because not everyone likes their shirt to be wild and crazy. So, we're trying to appeal.
Like a classic collection or something?
Yeah, we're trying to appeal to everybody, So we're working on some different things. It's all a process, but we have some new. But the only thing that we outsource in our business, and it's at a dull roar right now, would be some graphic design, and that's just because as a manufacturer we have to spend a lot of time preparing the artwork for print. So some of our competitors, they send the artwork to a printer who then prints the shirts. We actually handle the whole process. So our art department, although extremely talented, spends a lot of their time just manipulating the artwork to print. So we've been utilizing, we've got about 6 or 7 contractors now that have been creating designs, and at Bull Expo in about 60 days we're going to have an exciting announcement. We have a new custom shirt program.
Cool.
That if you'll be able to, your shirt will ship within 7 days after art approval. And I would pretty much say that no one can do that currently in the bowling industry. So it's typically 3 to 4 weeks unless you want to pay some kind of rush fee.
That'd be great.
Because we handle the whole process. Once that shirt is approved and we have all the artwork ready, pretty much straight to print with free shipping, continental U.S.
That's awesome. You guys are definitely pushing the envelope and trying to shorten those wait times for folks being able to order a jersey and then get it. And many of us, including myself, usually wait till the last minute and then we need something quickly. And you're pretty much acknowledging that's how people behave, and you're trying to change your business model to be able to adapt to what people want.
Well, it is 2017, and everyone, wants things. Doesn't make sense to. Let's put it this way: when I see something that says, order today, allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery. Like, what planet is that on?
No, I'll type in Amazon.com and go find something else I can have in 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's made overseas, put it on a truck and drive it over the Bering Strait or something, when it's icy. It can't take 4 to 6 weeks. That's ridiculous. That just means you don't have it.
Harvey Johnson in the chat is predicting 74 for a cut score. Tom Hess says, good morning. Logo Infusion is best in the business.
Good morning, Tom. Thanks for your support. Tom, one of our first staffers, first national staffers, been with us since the beginning.
I do like it how people think that I'm taking all the entries and running the tournament while I'm on air at the same time.
Well, you're the man.
Yeah, I'm getting text messages. What time you want me to come pay you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right. Just answer the question.
I did.
Okay. Don't be difficult.
That's one of the funniest things, though. I love it. I mean, it is.
That happens to me all the time. People are like, hey, I need a shirt. I'm like, cool. They're like, can I email you? Absolutely.
Then they're like,
then I forward it to someone who actually can get the job done.
Will you design it for me? Sure.
Sure, I've done that too.
So we've got Scott Downs and Cameron Doyle bowling together. We've been watching these guys here for a couple of frames, and we've also got
front four.
Benjamin Caldwell and David Counts right next door.
I just had to open my mouth.
Sure did.
So what's your prediction at the next squad? 108? You gonna be full?
I think we're gonna come close.
Okay.
I think we're gonna come real close.
I think the weather and this firefighters convention, I heard you say it earlier, and I agree with you. I think that kind of put a damper, so to speak, on the first 2 squads. So.
Yeah, it really did.
This is, being in Indianapolis, this is very reachable by a very large radius of this part of the country.
It is.
So I would imagine, someone could get up early and drive here and bowl the 130 squad and do just fine.
So here's Scott Downs. Scott Downs is actually in last position currently, but keep in mind this guy hasn't been bowling for very long up here on the left side of your screen. But he told a story. He came into the big leagues, Ken, and he got called up with the Chicago Cubs. And his very first time he was called into the game was for a complete inning. And it was against the Cincinnati Reds, and he had to face Pokey Reese, who was a pretty good on-base guy, a lot of speed. Then Barry Larkin, who's a Hall of Famer.
Sure.
Ken Griffey Jr., his first 3 people he had to face.
Wow.
And
Welcome to the big leagues.
Well, he said he went up and his very first shot pitch that he threw,
Right.
he thought was just a perfect strike. And the ump goes, ball? And he's like, oh boy.
Welcome to the big leagues.
He walks Reese in 4 pitches straight.
Did he think all 4 were strikes?
I think he thought most of them were.
Okay.
Okay. He got Barry Larkin to ground out into a double play.
Wow.
And then Griffey popped out. And when he was walking off the field, Mark Grace came over from first base, put his arm around him and said, welcome to the big leagues. Now that is amazing.
That's a cool story.
That is amazing.
Can you imagine standing on the mound and Ken Griffey Jr. comes to the plate? I mean, if Ken Griffey hadn't got injured so many times, every record would have been broke by him. I mean, an unbelievable talent. Could you imagine having to throw the ball? I think I'd probably throw it 10 feet to the right. I mean, right? I mean, he'd never be able to hit the ball I threw at him.
No.
I'd be too nervous. I wouldn't get it anywhere near him because could you imagine actually hitting him?
Well, that's where I was going to go. Imagine if you're Aroldis Chapman, you throw like 102, 103 sometimes.
Well, and I see Scott Bowles left-handed.
He is a lefty.
He's a lefty.
Yeah.
So that's a tight inside there to Ken Griffey.
Yeah, it sure is.
So I bet Ken Griffey would have something to say.
He probably would, or his opposing pitcher would have something to say with a counteraction.
Yeah, with the next on the next pitch.
Next thing you know, Grace is getting plinked.
Well, Mr. Downs got another spare.
Yep. And Cameron Doyle, he's like a magnet for baseball players. You know, they had lanes in their basement, and Mookie Betts did a lot of his practicing at Cameron Doyle's house.
Wow. So we got 24 bowlers and 48 really good stories or something. There's some really cool people here.
Oh yeah. You know, here's KD, Cameron Doyle, who in my opinion had a very special bowling life. It's not the traditional by any means. It's almost like a famous musician. It rivals a famous musician. I mean, I interviewed him last week at the Boom Doubles, and Cameron Doyle discussed how, I asked him, what was your first big win? He's like a PBA regional. I'm like, not like a 9-pin no-tap tournament at your local youth tournament at your house? He's like, no, not really. I don't have any really big wins. I made Junior Team USA, but I never did really good at Junior Gold. Mm-hmm. He goes, mine was when I won my first regional at like age 13. I was like, wow.
That makes sense because, I won a NABI tournament.
Yeah.
Was my first win, and that was like my last win.
Okay.
So, I won the wrong thing.
So Cameron then went on, he bowled the U.S. Open and cashed at age 14 and went on to win team trials, but Cameron doesn't have a lot of hardware in his trophy case, yet he is the most sought-after youth talent there is Downs there. You see him, he trips the 3-pin. But Doyle is just he went to Wichita, and we talked about it last week on our broadcast. He's leaving Wichita. College bowling wasn't for him. The whole experience just doesn't work for him. He gets a phone call from Chris Barnes to go bowl doubles with him in an event. So he can choose bowling doubles with a PBA Hall of Famer or go bowling a collegiate event, and just different strokes for different folks. And he admitted on our webcast last week that it's just not for him. He wants to go out, and he's going to take online courses, and he's going to try the PBA Tour starting January 1st. So good for you, Cameron. We wish you all the luck in the world, buddy.
Wish you all the luck out there.
All right, so we've got standings after game number 3 here, Ken. E.J. Tackett bowls 742 to start after a 186 start and is 142 over. Second, Brad Angelo at plus 88. Third is Charles Easton at plus 77. Fourth, Jesse Bauer at plus 62. Fifth, Dave Wadka at plus 61. 6th is Brad Miller at plus 43. 7th is George Gohagen at plus 39. 8th, Zach Rhodes at plus 27. 9th is Matthew Sanders at plus 12. And 10th is Kevin Williams at plus 11. Nick Pate also plus an 11.
Almost
Yeah,
half the
plus
field
4.
on
Yeah.
the plus side now. Then you got a -2. So the gentleman in 12th, pretty talented. So I'm guessing that -2 will be a plus.
Could be.
So
Cameron Doyle here sits at minus 23. Benjamin Caldwell minus 56. And David Counts minus 101.
you know, the thing is that even when you look at the lower end of the list, there is some folks here that could shoot 800 for the next 3 and be right back in it.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the beauty of you got 7 games, and that 3 games is one thing, bowling league is one thing, but how do the lanes change after 5, 6, 7 games?
Yeah,
and you're
absolutely.
moving every pair.
Yeah.
So
And they say pair to pair they're very different.
and that's just one of the differences you'll find with the top bowlers, is that the longer the format, the best will always rise to the top.
So here's Scott Downs. Rolled a 3-pin last time on that lane. He's bowling pretty good.
Yeah, yes.
I want to go take a look at the last shot that was delivered by Cameron Doyle on the right lane as he's about to come over, and there's a nice split conversion there over on 67. Let's take a look at Doyle's last shot. Take a look at the messenger here. I don't know which one hit it, either the one in the right channel or the messenger coming across the deck.
I don't know, but he's making this V thing look like a house show.
This V thing, I love it. The flying V.
There you go. Another strike.
He flushes that one.
Yes.
So Doyle's starting to feel pretty good out there. The big key to Doyle's success is whether or not he can stay down and through the shot. Down and through the shot's very important for KD. And Doyle has a possible.
He's in the 240s right now.
Yeah. And how about Scott Downs here? Still bowl 266.
Yeah.
So-
Not counting him out. Hey, he pitched to Ken Griffey Jr., so I'm sure whatever pattern you put out there, the flying V, he's not afraid.
Be not afraid.
Be not afraid. Another messenger for Cameron Doyle. He's in the 250s now. And as many great bowlers do, looks like he's going to go try another ball on his fill shot.
Pretty typical. I'm going to guess he's going to pull out this red ball that he likes right now. Nope, it's not red.
For all you up-and-comers, obviously he's going to shoot 250-something here and see something out there that he might want to be looking to change. So, and that's again another difference between the top bowlers and the top league bowler in your local bowling center.
Absolutely.
Got George Gohagen over here.
What's George got? He's got the front 8. We'll take you there in a moment. So Cameron Doyle finishes with 258, 6.
Mr. Gohagen's got the high personal set here of the group.
What did I just say, Ken, about Cameron Doyle? What's the key to him bowling well? Staying down and through the shot.
Yeah.
Cameron's dad just walked over to the booth, said to me, shows me a piece of paper and goes, I'm tracking every shot. He stayed down every shot so far but one. How interesting is that? That I mentioned that's the key to Cameron Doyle's success, and his dad's tracking his shots.
Well, that's just more proof that that this tournament needs to continue on in a tradition next year.
The tradition like no other.
Yes.
Good game, Scott. TV game. He did that the last time. He bowled good on the TV pair the last time at the Bradley.
Maybe we should just move the TV along with him.
I think we will. All right, let's go over to 61 through 64, where we've got a lot of things happening here. We've got George Gohagen III, who's the only person to bowl for the title twice in this tournament.
You haven't mentioned his personal high score, high series.
Or actually, what do we have going on here? What am I missing?
I don't know. What are you missing?
Where are my bowlers here?
Is that Brad Miller that has the front eight?
Yeah, it actually is Brad Miller that has the front eight.
Okay.
I think Gohagen's family was cheering for Brad Miller.
Well, you know, bowlers, there's a lot of friends out here.
Well, we do have George over here on this pair. He's bowling with Charles Easton. But here's Brad Miller now, front eight. And this is our first look at it, so usually this is where things go south.
Okay.
And there's a 2-4-8-10 for Brad Miller. Maybe he'll cover it. It's just like clockwork.
When you come out to bowl at 1:30 today, make sure that you skip the pairs that Mike Flanagan could jinx you on the front eight.
But now keep in mind, we've had a little EJ Tackett 279 on our pair. Okay. Scott Downs is red leader and bowls 231 on our pair.
Okay.
Cameron Doyle with 258. Brad Miller, oh. So Brad can still be in the 260s. Now here's Gohagen. That's who I saw Gohagen over here. Still get to 213. GG3 with the strike.
You can never count him out.
No, like I said, he's the only guy to bowl for the title twice in this tournament. Didn't get it done either time, but this would be pretty sweet if he did this time.
Yeah, we just got George back on staff. I'm really excited. I've known George for a long time. Drilled bowling balls for him in Las Vegas 15 years ago.
It's funny how these guys mature over time.
Yeah.
George Gohagen today compared to 10 years ago is a completely different human being.
A little different, yeah.
You know, when you're young and you're raw and you're out there and you're bowling everything you possibly can and you got a lot of adrenaline flowing, now he's more of a veteran almost. And it's more, it's more business.
That shot sure looked like a veteran.
It's a good triple.
Brad Miller with another strike. Going to be 260 with an 8 or a 9 count. He's going to be in the 260s.
Yep, bowling with A.J. Johnson. I'll tell you what, the crosses this morning have been really good for everyone involved. I feel like every pair's got a little mojo going on here.
Looks like Mr. Tackett had, well, he's finishing up his game, I think. He had a bunch of strikes at the end. Be interesting to see what he shot. This is after 3. Mr. Angelo. I won't tell Brad what you were trying to do to his name.
Bradgelina. Bradgelina. They're broken up now.
I explained to him that usually it's 2 people that you try to combine the names.
Well, it made me think of Angelina, so it was, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers.
Wow, okay, all right.
Maybe for graham crackers.
He said there was something interesting about your name. I said, is it because Angel is in there? He's like, yeah, oh yeah, thumbs up. Brad's been a real big supporter of our brand. Looking for some patches this morning. So we We're gonna be bringing in some new patches, something that sticks to a shirt and stays. So
Right on. It's Gohagen here now, 4 in a row. Looking to fill it up here.
a little left, yeah, a little light. Like
Leaves
a 3-pin.
Yep, leaves a 3. So
212.
good game.
So re-oil for every squad?
Yep, fresh oil every
Fresh oil
squad.
every squad, okay.
We've been on the air for 1 hour and 38 minutes, and we're just completing game number 4. So pace of play a little bit quicker than last night, actually.
Well, when you strike more, the games go faster. Do you agree with that?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Mike Flanagan and Ken Keegan, 2 dry sense of humors battling it out. Mike, let's talk about the second time we talked on the phone.
Okay.
The first time was really nice. That's when we
think it
agreed
was.
to get involved with this tournament.
Yeah.
Then you met the other side of Ken. Long emails, crying.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a little bit of that.
That's all right. I can honestly say that in my lifetime,
Yeah.
the people that I have the best relationships, early on, there was a conflict.
Well, that's good.
So
That
and
means
it-
we're
and
good.
it's you know what? The conflict is always a miscommunication. That's just all it is.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just getting to know people because I'm just we live in a world where it seems like everyone has an agenda. So my guard is up. I'm a business owner, so I always feel like someone is looking for something. They're on the attack. They're on something. And obviously, I misread what your intentions were, and you pointed it out to me in a very strong fashion. And I think that's why we're the friends that we are today.
I totally agree, 100%.
So
Yeah, when you come in and you try to promote on social media and you try to plug the sponsors and offer a bunch of impressions and you're throwing stuff up on the screen and you're working these long hours and everything, and you feel like you're really delivering a good product and a good bang for the buck and everything's working well, and then you're late with a jersey order, which everybody on my staff knows that when it comes to anything that I do with this, it tends to be, unless it's absolutely, oh my goodness, that is the
ooh, the
is that
6'9",
2 count?
The
Yep.
6'9" 2 count.
6'9", that sometimes I procrastinate a little bit.
I bowled with a guy named Eric Edwardson. He was from Florida. Now, this is now 25 years ago. And so Eric, this is before reactive resin. So Eric punches out the 6'9" with a red solid hammer, the old fab ball hammer. And this guy was an amazing bowler. Eric, if you're out there, jump in and say hi to me, because this guy was awesome. So he tells me that he's going to put the ball right back through the same spot. And I'm like, Eric, I've never seen anyone put the ball through the spot to begin with.
Right.
And he proceeded to throw the ball right back through it.
Right back
2
through.
out.
That's really hard to do. It's like going back through
This
the
guy
baby
was
split.
incredible. This guy was absolutely incredible. I was blessed when I first started bowling. I bowled with some amazing bowlers in Southern California. Mike Hildebrandt, Eric Edwardson, a bunch of them. Mike Hildebrandt, just recently got reconnected with him on social media. He works at one of the boutique bowling centers in Southern California, downtown LA. Great bowler.
Don't forget also, you should go check out Inside Bowling on all of our social media platforms. You can head over to Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Look us up, Inside Bowling. Give us a follow. There's some extra content being put out today on those channels.
Craig Carter says, wow, only 4 gals plus at the PWBA event. Well, that's a 1-to-1 flat pattern. We'll bring that out of any of the best bowlers on the planet. So that's a tough pattern to bowl on. You have a video of EJ Tackett here striking. I thought you were replaying it over and over again, but he just threw a lot of strikes.
It's on
Every
Twitter.
shot looks the same.
It's on Twitter and Instagram. We're just checking it out. So we're in game number 5 now of this B squad qualifying. 2 more squads for you today. Much fuller squads.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at that.
That's the hard way to pick up the 210.
Let's go ahead. Let's look at that one more time. Let's take a look. Charles Easton.
Yep. That just proves you don't have to slide it over. You can just punch it to the back and bounce it back on the deck. So real quickly back to our story. Thank you for not giving up on me.
Oh, absolutely.
And pointing out my errors in my ways. So
It was just communication. You had a guy handling it for you, and just the recap of the event and what was going on was never communicated, really. And I didn't know it was my responsibility to put something together and send it over, because I was under the assumption, you know what happens when you assume,
yep.
that that message was being brought back to home office and shared with Papa Bear.
And then you place this late order. So I'm like, who is this
right,
guy?
Right, and that I'm a maniac about. I am a maniac.
I remember our conversation. I was like, I'm really confused. Like, the first time I talked to you, you seemed like an awesome guy. Now you're not seeming so awesome. But
yeah, I'm a maniac sometimes.
That's all right. We're used to late orders.
Yeah, right. That's why you're changing
That's why we impose late fees, or not late fees, but rush fees, which is really a late fee.
Right.
You know, so like when you don't pay your credit card on time, you get a late fee.
Yeah.
Well, at Logo Infusion, when you don't order your shirt on time, you get a rush fee. We just rush sounds better than late.
Yes.
So. Yeah, we offer a 6 to 8 day service where we ship your shirt in 6 to 8 days. So that's even taking one of our stock designs and adding logos, adding your name. It's a nifty little service. A lot of people take advantage of that, especially when someone needs a shirt quickly.
The other thing that you offer too is you have compression sleeves, you have towels. You also have full embroidery services available. So if you're checking out or you need to order something online or from a company that you can trust, if it has to do with any of those things or all of the above, make sure you check out logoinfusion.com and give the folks a call.
Yeah, and the other thing, we actually have another site. It's called infusionpromos.com. There's about 600,000 products on this website that basically anything you can imagine to put a logo on. So if you own a small business, or you're a manager at a business, or if you know the people that do the purchasing, please check us out, because we offer a wide array of services. Everyone thinks we're just a dye sub company, but that's one of the things we do in-house, and we do it well. But we offer a lot of services: so screen print, embroidery. If you need some pens for your office with your logo on it, we do all that stuff.
Cameron Doyle with another strike, and Scott Downs, we were talking about how he bowls so much better on the TV pairs. He's bowling good again this game.
This is after the 4th game slide. I noticed everyone only moved one pair. What is the reason for that? Does that have to do with the number of pairs that you're using?
Correct. Yeah.
So otherwise, they would bowl in the same lane again?
Right. Jerry Anderson has this special formula that he puts together, and that's why he does what he does. Jerry's been running tournaments for over 40 years.
Jerry barely looks like he's 40 years old.
I know.
That's amazing.
I round it up. I think it's like 36 years.
Whatever. Multiple decades. Okay.
Yeah, he can bowl. He's PBA 50.
Really?
He's bowl. Yeah, he likes to get out and throw the rock around a little bit.
Ah.
I like to tell people this. He was on the team that bowled the first Baker 300 televised.
You said that last night.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Scott Downs, can he stay clean here? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very simple game, very effective.
Very, very simple game.
Yeah, and the thing is he's bowling pretty good. This is a very tough pattern, and you said he hasn't bowled that long.
No.
How long is not long?
Competitively, like a little over a year.
Wow.
He enjoyed bowling all these years, just whenever he had a chance to do it, but
Right.
he really started kind of taking it up. Dave Watka's hooked him up with some equipment and some
great.
coaching. And
Well, Dave Watka is one of the top industry specialists. Dave is a great bowler, but he's worked for Ebonite International for I think almost 20 years.
yeah, very loyal guy.
Yeah, amazing.
We will bring in the stack view of our cameras, get a chance to see everybody bowling at this time. Mike Flanagan here with you, along with Ken Keegan here in the booth from Logo Infusion. You're watching B Squad qualifying. Game 5 of 7 here from Western Bowl here in Indianapolis. I want to welcome in all of our viewers, 188 people watching right now. Make sure you give us a thumbs up down below. It improves our ranking on YouTube, and we sure do appreciate the thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we certainly would appreciate you doing so. I'll show you something kind of cool, Ken. We talked about it with Brandon earlier. But if you go to YouTube, and a lot of people are disconnecting their cable services.
Yeah.
And if you go down to the Browse Channel section and you look up sports, and you want to go look at all the different sporting things available.
Right.
First of all, there's a live streaming one on here, and they've changed our algorithm because we used to appear very close to the top all the time. I don't know what's going on. I'm actually going to email them and find out why we're not up there anymore or what we're doing wrong. But as you scroll down...
Well, I was reading that you were so popular that they were trying to hold you down a little bit. So they heard that you're doing all this amazing social media work and amazing monthly reports on the whole, and it's clear that you're on top of what's going on, and I think they're a little nervous.
Might be. So when you go down to bowling here, these are the top videos recommended in the bowling section.
Let's not check out the one that says horrific bowling accident, bowler denied 300.
Yeah, well, that's us.
Oh, okay. Well, let's look at that one then.
So
what is that? What does that mean? Horrific bowling accident.
Well,
what does that mean?
That's clickbait.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
We did that in an email blast one. I won't tell you what we put for the subject line.
Yeah.
But we had an amazing amount of people click on our an email blast, and we did it just as a joke. We were kind of a little aggravated. We were getting a little burned out on trying to figure out how to get people to do it. So we had a little round table, and someone was like, "Well, why don't we do this?" And so we're like, "Yeah, whatever. Who cares? No one's paying attention anyways."
Right.
So we do this, and well, anyways, it was a little. It wasn't off character or off. It was just. It was a gray area.
How about April 1st this year? You do Logo Infusion sells for $3.1 million. Details inside.
Why would we use such a small number? Why would I give it away like that? I mean, it's definitely worth 10 times that. Come on.
Played. Nicely played.
But is that your offer? $3 million?
Yeah.
My wife said that's not enough.
Okay.
We've already discussed this. Like we have a target number if someone's going to offer us.
Oh yeah.
If it's a certain number, well, hey, you know what? I'm living my life, right? I'm going to be 48 on Wednesday.
Sure.
So
that's a good call.
When I retire and live in a tropical zone where I only deal with the sun and hurricanes, I don't know.
Well, let's get back to the task at hand so I can get this out of my browser. But out of the top 4 videos on YouTube right now, they recommend people should go watch under the bowling category. One is the record by Ben Catola on the fastest 300 game, which was a big story a week ago.
Yeah, I just saw that. That was cool.
One is Belmo's.
I was exhausted, too, after just watching it. 86 seconds, I was like, there's no chance.
One is Belmo's bowling trick shots, dude perfect.
Belmo, who's that?
Yeah. And then horrific bowling accident and 1 in a billion bowling trick shot.
Like, who's Belmo? That was a lead-in.
I heard that he has just recently signed with a new company. Who's that?
Logo Infusion, I heard, signed him.
Big announcement 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah. We're really excited. Cameron Doyle almost picked up to 710.
I want to give a shout out to Mike Judy checking in this morning. Thanks, Mike. I want to thank Ebonite International, of course, Brand of Track sponsoring this qualifying block, but without Ebonite International support, this event would not be possible, along with Mr. Keegan, who's sitting next to me, and the folks at Logo Infusion.
A little shout out to Mike Judy. You know how you and I had a little conflict?
Uh-huh.
Mike Judy and I had a little conflict. I think he's still worried about it. Hey, Mike, I love you, man. I really do.
You heard it right here first.
So don't worry about it. Next time I see you, if you bring this up again, we're gonna have another conflict. Now, people I have 2 conflicts with, it goes bad. So it just doesn't go well, because that just means I was right the first time. So Mike Judy is a great guy, does a great job at Ebonite International. He's got a very challenging job. He's got eight people in the sales force for Ebonite International out in the field, and he has to keep track of them all. Plus deal with all the office politics in Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Yes, he does.
You know, just like any company, there's stuff going on there, a lot going on. I've been to that plant several times, so it's an amazing place. Randy Schickert has amassed a great team there.
I will tell you that treat people like you'd like to be treated is a really big thing with me, especially as I mature and get older.
Getting biblical on us.
Yeah, do unto others. So
yeah. You mentioned church yesterday. You go to church, and now you're quoting the Bible.
Ebonite International, since I've been on board with.
There's the lovely
Kim. Yep, there's the lovely Kim. Like, Miss Elizabeth, yeah. Got nothing on Miss Kimberly. Macho madness.
Now, you told me the story. In this environment, is she Kim or Kimberly?
Kimberly.
Kimberly. Okay, so I was correct yesterday. It's the official name.
Kimberly at one of these
in the business setting.
And what was I just talking about? Oh, I was talking about Ebonite International.
Yeah.
Since working with them, they've just treated me day in and day out with respect. Every company normally has these things you have to deal with that kind of rub you the wrong way. You have bad days and good days.
Sure.
I don't really deal with that with Ebonite International. Of course, I have a million ideas, and sometimes, due to resources and things, we can't always pull some of those things off. So sometimes it can get frustrating. But when I have so many ideas, I can get really bogged down and frustrated. But the folks at Ebonite International have been very, very awesome to work with and have treated me really well. So I want to.
Well, I have a unique relationship with them. My company actually operated the Ebonite International booth for 5 years at the Open Championship, the USBC Open Championships, and unfortunately, we ended that relationship on that respect.
Well, what'd you do? What'd you do to piss them off? No,
I didn't do anything to piss them off. Well, I'm sure I did plenty of things to piss them off, but it was it was just. The tournament is the Open Championships is it's in a transition, and our companies were in a transition, and I was a little concerned about profitability, and so we discussed it, and we just agreed that we were going to stop doing that. So Bob Russ now runs that entire operation.
He does, Bobby.
He does a great job for them.
Spent a little time with Bob.
A little shout out to Bobby. He's another guy that him and I have miscommunicated. There's a theme here. I seem to miscommunicate with a lot of people. So he doesn't believe that I have a lot of respect for him, but I do. He has been running the hammer booth for a long time, and that is not an easy task. It looks easy, but setting those booths up and operating them for 150 days straight, it's hard to find good employees to do that, and just kind of like your business. Remember, we were talking about yesterday how you haven't had a vacation.
Yeah.
Kimberly confirmed that, by the way, this morning.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
That you have not taken a vacation.
A.J. Johnson has got a big strike ball working for himself there. He's got 4 in a row now here on lane 64. I got standings after game number 4 as well. E.J. Tackett sets the pace at plus 190. Brad Miller at 105. Brad Angelo at 102. Matthew Sanders sits 4th at plus 70. Followed by Jesse Bauer at plus 64. George Gohagen at plus 51. Charles Easton at plus 50. Nick Pates up to plus 45. Dave Wadka plus 36. KD, Cameron Doyle, plus 33. In 11th, Zach Rhodes is plus 26. And the other bowler plus, Kevin Williams, in 12th at plus 9. If you want to see how your favorite bowler is doing, go over to InsideBowling.com, click on the Event Information tab, and you can take a look and see just how your favorite bowler is bowling. And now A.J. Johnson gasses a little bit, misses a little to the right, and leaves the 1-2-4. Now here's Nick Pate. We talked about how well he's been bowling. Nick Pate's got himself a plus in this event. Nick will bowl a couple times, I anticipate. And that was done intentionally. Anticipate Nick Pate. Pun intended there.
Wow. I don't think Gohagen likes the 7-pin.
No, he doesn't.
You know the story on that.
Yes.
You know, when you have 35 in a row and you leave a 7-pin, and then someone walks up to you and says, "Why didn't you carry?" Like, do people not have a clue?
It can be difficult. So A.J. Johnson can bowl 220 even. Brad Miller still bowl 209. Nick Pate a little bit behind. I think I'm going to take you over, though, to Charles Easton, because Charles Easton has spare open, and he's now bidding for what we call the ham turkey dinner coming up here in the 9th frame.
You know what's interesting is I see spare.
I guess it is spare.
Yeah.
What's interesting to me is I really need to go get an eye exam.
I was going to say, because you can't seem to see much of anything. I mean, I've been wearing glasses since I was 7, so I wouldn't know.
I've got contacts.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying you need glasses, but you might need a
I need to get a pair of
When was the last time
glasses
the
again.
contacts came out of your eyes?
Oh, I take them out every day.
Oh, okay. But the last time you actually saw a
year and a half. Almost 2 years.
And you know what? You're approaching that age.
Thank you.
You need to keep up with that.
Now I want you to watch Cameron Doyle here. He's moved in quite a bit on the lane, and his last shot, I'm surprised, recovered. He's got a double working heading into the 10th frame here. Look how wide that is, and he's still getting it back.
Well, some people just know how to make it look easy. There's a famous bowler right there, Mr. Simonson. Another recent addition to our staff.
Absolutely.
His better half, Angie's been on our staff for a couple of years. We have a great staff. They're a lot of very friendly people. So we if you're interested in being on staff with Logo Infusion, you can email those requests to info@logoinfusion.com.
Okay.
Please send us a resume. But I'll just tell you, if you're mean, just like don't hit send.
Okay.
Like I don't like mean people. If you like to kick a ball return once a week, please don't send in your resume. We're a family-owned business. I've been doing this for a long time, and we're looking for good people to represent our company.
Cameron Doyle, 224, 67 68. Scott Downs can still bowl 177. Charles Easton bowls 240 even.
Pretty
And
solid.
George Gohagan can still get to 195 if he strikes out in the 10th frame. Lane 63 and 64 complete. Nick Pate is just finishing up now over on 61 and 62. He's got a possible 195 left.
I noticed
Hagen
it's
with a
Tom
strike.
Clark's birthday today. I was on Facebook.
Is it?
And yeah, so happy birthday, Tom.
Yeah, I think there's a plethora of birthdays today.
Plethora. That's a interesting word to use.
I got some notification that said, like, I don't know, all these people's birthdays were today.
Well, my list of friends is pretty small compared
Tom
to someone
Clark
like you.
and 12 others have birthdays
Wow.
today.
So yeah, I only had, it said Tom Clark and 4 others, and the other 3 were actually like real friends of mine.
Let's see what other notables potentially in here. Curtis Wood, you mentioned.
Oh, yeah, Curtis Woods. Happy birthday, Curtis Woods. One of the Chad Murphy mentioned he put a post on there about how funny Curtis Woods is. Curtis Woods is definitely one of the funniest people I've ever met.
You know, that's actually one of the ways that we help build this brand here.
Funny people?
We didn't have a fan page on Inside Bowling. We actually just had a person page that was called Inside Bowling.
Oh, so you had a birthday.
Back in the day, and we had all these people's birthdays. So we would always wish them happy birthday from Inside Bowling. Every day we went on there and did that.
You're tricky.
Made people feel good. But then Facebook cut down on having personal pages that are acting as businesses.
Oh.
So we converted the page over to a business page, and now you can't wish people happy birthday. I mean, you could, but you'd have to have like a long database.
You have to track it separately.
Yeah, you'd have to know all that.
Well, happy birthday to all bowlers out there who are having a birthday today. How about that?
Yeah. And if we were a restaurant, we'd send you a free appetizer or dessert for this particular month. Bring it into the booth for a minute. We have nobody bowling out on the lanes. I'm here with Ken Keegan from Logo Infusion. Brian's over here, by the way, too. You can't see him right now, but he's here.
He is.
Brian, can we get a body part somewhere in the screen?
Well,
So people don't think that I'm lying.
Yeah, can you show us one finger and not that one?
Let's see. There it is.
There it is.
All right. I think with that, we're going to go check in on a gentleman by the name of John Zerbinski as we go into game number 6. Glad you're with us this morning here from Western Bowl in Indianapolis. We have a squad today coming up again at 1:30. I think it's 1:30.
I'm sure it's 1:30.
Yeah, we should have started earlier.
Yeah, because 5 o'clock in the morning wasn't early enough for me. We should have started earlier.
Or started this one later. The pace of play at this bowling center compared to where we've been in the past is much faster. Because it was a 2-sided house at the other place, so you'd have to move all your equipment after 4 games and then flop and all that.
Got it.
It's one of the nuances, though, and one of the cool things about the tournament, though. But what a beautiful place Western Bowl is.
Yeah, this is my second time being here. It is, like I said, it's an amazing facility. 80 lanes.
And you think about stuff like this. Putting in new carpet through the whole concourse.
$1 million.
It's expensive.
It's gotta be, right?
I wouldn't even know how much to tell you that is.
I wouldn't want to get that bill.
That's a
When
lot.
When Mark got that bill, I bet he was not happy.
Man, that's a lot of carpet. And then for it to be laid properly, and you got to have a good, high traffic carpet. Then you got to have it maintained and cleaned regularly. I mean, the carpet looks beautiful in here.
Yeah. No, the whole place is beautiful. This is not a bowling alley, that's for sure.
No.
This is a bowling center. Beautiful.
You know what though, and I've mentioned this several times, and I just want to mention it again. I like retro, and I like new. I don't like status quo. So I don't really take too much exception to the calling bowling a game or calling bowling centers alleys. I don't really. It really doesn't bother me too much.
Right.
This is a bowling center, no doubt. But if somebody says, "Hey, let's head over to the alley and bowl a couple of games," as long as they're bowling,
that sounds like there's some money involved.
We're good.
Let's go down to the alley and bowl. We should do that. Bowl all night long.
Yeah. Take you back to the back alley.
You're fine.
I also think Kevin Costner's movie, For the Love of the Game, wouldn't have just been as good if it was called For the Love of the Sport.
Okay. Well, here's what I can tell you.
I like the game.
The
I like
24 bowlers out here
Yeah.
are. This is a sport.
It is.
This is not a game.
It is a sport.
Because a game would require bumpers and a lot of missing the head pin, and that's not happening today.
But if you do talk to most people, I think they would say, "Hey, I'm gonna catch the football game," or even bars and restaurants say, "Come watch the big game," because they can't say Super Bowl.
Right. The what?
Right.
I don't think you can say
I can say
Leap Bowl.
I can say it. I just
The
can't
great bowl.
use it to.
The really awesome bowl.
We'll bleep that out later. But yeah, I don't.
I thought this was live.
It is.
Okay.
But on our recorded version,
Oh, we're gonna bleep all this out.
we'll get rid of the word super.
Okay.
I'll have Brian do all that.
So when Brandon was using expletives, you're gonna cut that out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Wow, Zerbinski. Oh, that 10 fell out late. I want to see real quick. Did it fall out late, or did the rack hit it? It fell.
What do you like trying to see if he's trying to disqualify him or something?
No, but whenever there
John's
is,
a very nice, respectable man.
I've got 9 seconds to hit that
And
replay,
he's bigger than us too.
or it's gone.
Don't be doing that.
I just had to look and see, because sometimes it's happened on my webcast. If they come over here, one guy says, "I think it hit the rack." One guy says, "No, it fell."
Oh, okay. So you're like the official video replay sometimes.
Yeah, I am. You call it just, yeah. If he was
See,
out at first, we know.
A sport has replay. A game does not.
That's true.
Okay. I think a game is like checkers. This doesn't look like checkers. How do you feel about checkers?
It's okay. Yeah,
When was the last time you played checkers?
Cracker Barrel?
Oh.
I don't know, a couple years
That's
ago.
not really a time, that's a place, but anyways.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I guess.
Is that like in Clarksville, Tennessee, on your way to the airport? You went to.
I don't remember
you did
where I
Cracker
hit up
Barrel?
a Cracker Barrel.
They have a good breakfast at Cracker Barrel. Can I say that? Or are you going to have to bleep that?
No, you're good with that.
Okay.
Good morning to Ryan Downard, James Klatt, Craig Carter this morning. Ryan says, great pattern choice this year. Really like how it makes the players get more inside and keep a tight line with little room to miss outside, if I'm seeing them right from the feed. It's pretty accurate.
Pretty accurate. And correct me if I'm wrong, that's not exactly how this tournament has played in the past.
No, it usually plays out. You have to play out. And this year it's a little bit different.
Different lane surface,
Yeah, it makes a big
a
difference.
harder, slicker surface. and a unique pattern.
Flying V.
Flying V. There's the guy that put the pattern out. He's like a proud papa. Look at him.
Sure is. He's in the leisure stance.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
1 foot in the forward and
Yep.
pressure on the back leg?
Yep.
Okay.
The leisure stance.
Wow. When you're as big as me, there's still equal pressure on the front leg.
Take you over here to lane 65 through 68. RJ Pollard, Zach Rhodes, along with Nick Pate, Jimmy Ogden.
I was watching Zach Rhodes bowl earlier. I don't know him at all, but he throws it pretty good. Do you know? Do you have any more information?
No, not really. He's just bowled a couple of our events. Throws it good, posts the shots.
Yep. He is way inside. When I was watching him earlier, he was way outside. Completely changed his ball roll. How many people were watching last night?
A couple hundred
Yeah.
at a time, yeah. Actually, this will tell you. Creator Studio. Video Manager. That's how many views it had last night.
Okay. Is there a minimum amount of time that you have to view?
No.
So 1 second.
Yep.
And it's based off of unique IP addresses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you to the 1,875 people that have viewed some portion of this broadcast.
I have standings up after game number 5, and EJ Tackett leads at plus 226.
Wow.
He's just running away right now. Brad Angelo in second at plus 140. Brad Miller in third at plus 102. Now remember, he bowled last night and finished at 110 last night.
Right.
Jesse Bauer is at 92. Charles Easton at 90. Matthew Sanders is in sixth with 65. Seventh is Cameron Doyle, who we just saw make a big move inside, and he's opening up the whole lane now and has a really good ball reaction. So he's plus 57 in seventh. Dave Watka's in eighth, hanging in there at plus 46. If Watsy's here, could get a couple of big last games, he could get himself right up into a number he could be pretty comfortable with. Nick Pate is in ninth at plus 38. George Gohagen in 10th at plus 36. Followed by Kyle Sherman, who's plus 23 in 11th, and Andrew Anderson, our last bowler, that is even or better, and he is even right now. Half the field is even or plus. Half the field the other direction. Scott Downs has found himself moving out of the 24th position after bowling 230 right here on our live stream pair, so he's moved out of the cellar. RJ Pollard here struggling a little bit, minus 39. See, Nick Pate is plus 38. Swap you out of here and take you back over 61 through 64. Ken, I'm going to let you carry the broadcast for a moment.
Oh, fantastic. That's not awkward.
So
how long will you be gone?
Probably 2 minutes.
Wow.
So yeah,
I'm going to apologize up front to your viewership that you've left this with me.
So you have the keys to the car.
That's terrible.
And
that's absolutely
this
terrible.
is what you're calling right here, and this is your chat that you can talk
Bring
to
Brandon
people
over here. Get Brandon's attention. Please. Don't leave me by myself.
Hey, Brandon. Meanwhile, not that one, sorry.
Yeah. Don't scream so loud. People are actually bowling.
This would be great. We'll have you two in here. This would be perfect.
Yeah, we're going to take over the Logo Infusion live stream.
So I'm going to hand it over to Brandon Allred to be the play-by-play. And Ken Keegan, have a seat, will be your color analyst here for a little bit from Logo Infusion. It'll be perfect.
That's what you're calling right there. You got it, boss.
And you're in.
And we're in.
And your name is?
Hi, I'm Brandon.
And full name and title and everything you do.
Ooh, the
Introduce
fancy
yourself.
stuff. Brandon Allred, brand manager, marketing director. For your company, sir.
Wow.
Logo Infusion.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're here.
Glad to be
I'm glad you brought me. It's cool.
That's a fact. Quite cool what the inside bowling folk do.
So what are you seeing out here, Brandon?
I am seeing a much different.
You're an accomplished bowler. Bowled in the college ranks. Just shot 19 million at the
19 million
at the Open Championship.
Boy, fortunate to break 1900 at nationals.
Several 800s.
Yeah.
Former
good bowler.
What's the high?
805 pins.
805 pins.
Yes.
That's an interesting thing.
I have accumulated that many in a 3-game set one time.
Our office at Logo Infusion is like every office. We have all these little bets. And Brandon and I stopped bowling for about 6 years. And my high series is 808 in 1993. So it was a million years ago. And so the bet was if Brandon shot over 808 that I had to come back to bowling. And I just so you know, I want to let you off the hook. I did not get tired of waiting. It was just it was time for me to start bowling again. But Brandon Allred is. I have been in and around this industry for 26 years, and I have met few people of his stature and character. So if you've never met Brandon Allred, if you're at an event and he is representing Logo Infusion, please go up and say hello to him, because he is definitely one of the good guys.
I appreciate that, sir. And yes, if anyone sees me at an event, come up and say hello. I do like to talk. And I do like to spectate bowling.
So what do you think this means when he just leaves us alone here? So we just...
That's a big trust factor right there. Leaving guys like us in charge
Harvey
of this
Johnson
live stream.
says, "You got this, Ken." So I like it.
Harvey knows what's up.
Harvey, you have no idea what we're going to do to this broadcast.
We're just getting started.
Mike's not coming back. Right? I already know this. He left for like 10 minutes yesterday. He says 2 minutes, but that ain't.
See you in 20.
Yeah. So what do you think about the? So upstairs they have a huge warehouse and they roll bowling balls around. Is that what I'm hearing?
Judging by the torrential downpour we've seen over the last couple of hours.
Folks, that's a joke. There is no warehouse upstairs. It's a very loud thunder here in Indianapolis.
It's not like home.
No, I told Dave Watka that I seen more rain in the last 12 hours than I've seen in the last 5 years in Las Vegas.
That's about right. So that's about right.
Brandon, how long have you lived in Las Vegas?
I was born and raised in Las Vegas, so that would equate to 27 years as of now.
I wasn't aware that people were actually born in Las Vegas.
I've heard that once or twice before. We live
so
on the
you're a native.
Yeah, native.
Yeah. See, I've lived in Vegas for 23, 24 years, and I feel like I'm a native because I've been there that long.
Yes.
But it is. If you've ever been to Las Vegas and talked to local folk, it is rare to find someone that was actually born there. That's just not the
norm.
Not the norm.
Transient town. What do we got going on this bowling thing here?
Zach Rhodes just threw a nice strike.
Let's see who we've got on the feed. Looks like Kyle Sherman.
Got Brad Miller grinding along. Aren't you glad he left us here to try to figure this out?
Well, I think I've cheated enough times. I think I can figure out what he's doing.
Well, folks back home, just so you know, Brandon does not cheat on anything. that would be an impossibility. You know, they say everyone's a sinner, but I don't know. I think Brandon might not be.
Stop it.
He might not be one. I don't know.
Stop it.
Although you were laughing pretty hard at that comedy show we were watching.
Yeah, we were watching a little Kevin Hart last night. That guy is rather funny.
It is. And he's good at it because, you know, you can watch the same performance over and over, and I still laugh.
It just doesn't get old.
Yeah, like you know what's coming and you still laugh anyway.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Kind of like watching me bowl. You know what's coming.
I have not yet to spectate your valiant return to bowling.
Yeah, well, I'm still working on clearing the thumb hole. So, but there's good news. I forgot to tell you this yesterday evening. Kyle Troop told me that when I'm ready for two-handed bowling, that he is personally going to help me.
He's got your back? I like
Now,
it.
what do you think? Do you think that's going to be a positive thing? Or when he says he's going to help me, do you think he's going to help me out of the sport? Or
I think he's going to help you learn how to take your thumb out.
Seems like a really nice
Avoid
guy.
all those tape and bevel issues.
He was a little nervous yesterday when I asked him if he was going to wear a logo Infusion shirt, and he said that he was on another company's staff, and I said, oh, don't be sorry about that. Congratulations. So, and I don't know.
Any endorsement deal is a good deal.
No, it is. And thank you to our competitors for offering endorsements, because that's benefits to the bowlers.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, that's what that's part of what we're doing here is giving back.
We're all here to grow bowling.
Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely. Really nice to meet David Waswell.
Dave Wasrow, the Bowler Show, bowling
Bowler
just
Show.
off camera here. You'll see John Spinsky coming up on the left-hand screen. Dave's to his left. All right, Mike gave us the keys to this little thing, so let me see if I can finagle my way around and see if we can change cameras here.
Interesting.
We're going to bring to right in front of the booth here.
We got this, Mike.
We got Nick Pate coming up on 67.
Took it over.
10 back for Nick Pate.
Uh-oh. Is that your way of listening in?
Zach Rhodes with the back door.
I think he hit the 6-pin flush and struck. He throws a powerful ball.
That's fact. Parlay that going into the 10th.
Mr. Jordan, another strike.
Quite the caliber of players.
Let's check my levels here. All right, I'm good.
He's back.
All right, Brandon, so I'm going to teach you another trick here.
I like tricks.
Well,
All right. Got Ken and Brandon up here running the booth. I'm going to go sell jerseys today.
There you go.
So we're in game 6, so we're good there. We don't need that. Anytime you want to switch pairs, you just go to that,
Yep.
send it, go to there, send it.
I figured that one out from memory.
Yeah.
All those times sitting here with you.
hey, Mike Judy just reached out to me and said that he loves me. See?
There you go.
It's all good. There's a huge post on the K&K Bowling Services page.
From some quote from some guy.
When I wrote this, it didn't seem that long. Look at this. It's one of those things where you gotta do that.
Double scroll.
Yeah. That's a big smile on my face. It must be the cute girl next to me.
Gotta be.
Gotta be. Hey Flanagan, is this too long of a post? I mean, it seems really long.
Yes, it's too long of a post.
Why did you
Instant
post
feedback.
this? Why didn't you cut it down?
Probably because it was a direct quote, and he didn't want to try to figure out how to paraphrase you.
You're tough to paraphrase, sir.
What does that mean?
All I know is you
You
guys
gotta
sent
stop
it-
being so nervous. I'm really not that scary.
All I know is we get sent over this long list of all these things to do, and we're like, what are we going to do here? Some of this is really lengthy. How do we put this into a post? So Brady probably didn't have the time or what he wanted to do with what to paraphrase, so it was just like, I'm just going to throw the whole thing up there.
Okay.
Because it's from the heart.
It is. It is.
So if you don't want that to happen anymore, send us something shorter.
Wow. Well, we're celebrating our 17th anniversary in business, and had a lot to say apparently. So
Yeah,
a lot has
you
happened.
did.
So I have a big heart. That's why I'm so big. When you see me, you say, "Wow,
So here's the new.
that's a big guy."
Here's the new golden rule for anybody in social media, but especially for the brands associated with Ken Keegan.
Yes. I'm listening.
If it's going to be longer than 30 seconds to read, you must do a video and send us the video instead.
So when are you coming to Vegas to interview me on video?
I think you've got video cameras in every one of your shops. You just pull one out of one of the shops, and I'll show you how to work it, and then you're good.
Do you hear that, gentlemen in our shops today? You've been called out. You're not using the video camera.
Oh boy.
That has been purchased for your location. What's going on here? Is this over?
Nope, we'll be going into game number 7 here in just a momento.
Seems it's that odd, awkward silence in a bowling tournament every once in a while where no one was throwing a ball. So I thought it was over.
RJ Pollard finishing up game number 6. We'll be going into game number 7.
You know, Mike, you have a voice that, it sounds like you would be doing the play-by-play of a Major League Baseball team.
Oh, boy.
All right.
All right, Brandon, let me show you something here. If you click right there.
Right here?
Little plus, yep. And you go down to media file.
Where am I?
Down.
Media.
There you go.
There we go.
And then you will grab the B7. There you go. And then click on that. Yep, there you go. It's up there. And then you can hit the switch button, and now that brings us right into game number 7.
Man.
Where we have Brad Angelo and Andrew Anderson, along with Dave Wadka and Kevin Williams.
Driving the ship.
Yes,
We're
you are.
driving the ship.
I think you steer a ship.
Well, you know, you can drive a ship.
Okay.
It's 2017. You got to be able to drive a ship, right?
You want to drive a ship.
Well,
you know. What, you're going to drive the ship.
We need a ship to get from the hotel to the bowling center and then bowling center and back this morning. Holy smokes.
What's my question of the day? Where's the gators?
No, gators.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and
no alligators in Indianapolis.
Random standing puddles of water.
Did you guys pass the Nina, the Penta, and the Santa Maria on the way here?
Might have.
Now, why are you trying to say I'm that old?
Wow. The 1492.
Gray hair does not really mean I'm old.
Last tournament, we talked about Columbus, and I said it was in 1892.
Oops.
That'd be 1492.
Oops.
Do you know that he was looking for India?
Oh, he was a little off.
Did you know that, Mr. Flanagan?
Oh, we almost got that on camera. That was close.
Brad Angelo almost picks the 7-10 down here. I didn't know he was looking for that, no.
That's why it's the West Indies.
Learning something new today.
Well,
Did you know that
this is why well, I know it's not politically correct these days to talk about the Indians, but that's why they're called the Indians, because he was trying to go to India, but apparently he missed left at Madagascar or something.
Somewhere.
Did you know that in West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground is where I spent most of my days, chilling out back and relaxing,
That sounds like a song.
out cool and
You should publish that.
shooting some b-ball outside
Did
of
you
the
say
school.
that we have someone here that's trying to publish an album?
Yes, right here on our pair, 64, Kevin Williams.
And did I see him throw it two-handed one time?
Yeah, he's two-handed lefty right here.
But I saw him throw it with one hand once.
He's from Springfield, Missouri. I'm here, special assignment with Anthony Simonson. Mr. Simonson, what do you think of the pattern this year?
It looks interesting. I like the low scores. Maybe not as low as the women's tour. was, but I do like low scores, so it should be fun.
You're seeing people that boom it or hook on it a little bit have a little more success this year as opposed to your traditional shot maker.
We just saw Mr. Tackett take out the 710. That was ridiculous.
Sick.
Wow.
No,
Sick.
it's not.
So,
Well-
hey, I have a question for Anthony. Ask him if he's going to throw it one-handed or two-handed this weekend. And the follow-up question is what is he going to wear a Logo Infusion jersey?
Okay, so 2 questions from the booth from Ken Keegan. Wants to know, number 1, are you going to throw with one hand or two hand today?
2.
And are you going to be wearing a Logo Infusion jersey today?
We're being flashed right
Wow.
now.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was just double-checking.
There's never a dull moment around here.
And evidently, DJ Archer has been using a move where he kind of odd on the lanes. We didn't have EJ up on the last one. So, EJ, if you throw a strike, can you show everybody again
We're going to go
what
ahead
that what that one time only?
The 710 and that headpin took both of them out.
Okay, so maybe you'll same thing will happen on the next shot.
I doubt it. I hope not. I don't want to do that again.
Does that mean he wants to leave the 7 or a 10?
No, he does.
Okay, all right.
EJ, are you going to bowl again?
No, this is the only time I could bowl. I've got stuff going on later today, so I had to make this one count.
That makes more sense then.
Yeah, so luckily I've bowled pretty good so far. I'm like 220 over going into this last game, so I like to finish strong, you know, just get as many pins as I can at this point. Yeah, I know I'm going to be able to bowl tomorrow, but it's just, you know, getting as many pins as I can.
Has Dave Waswell talked to you about coming on a show yet?
No, I think I've been on a couple of times, but he hasn't talked to me about it while we've been bowling. He'll probably talk to me when we're done, though.
I was just curious if old Waz there was trying to recruit you for the show while he's crossing with you. I'm sure he's going to talk about this experience bowling with the current player of the year on the PBA Tour on his show.
I hope so, you know, and I don't know. I hope it's good. I hope he had a good experience. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I'll ask him real quick. Hey, Dave, are you having a good experience bowling with EJ Tackett, or has it been unbearable to bowl with him?
Well, he's right on my line. You know, he's chopping up the area that I'm playing. Obviously, he's 10 or 15 left of me. It's actually an honor. I appreciate however this worked out, me ending up with him. But it's been fun. One game I went 2-0 and 190. I posted online. Thought that was pretty good, but I was 155 pins behind him those 2 games.
Yeah, he's definitely got it going on. We appreciate your bowling, Dave.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Can we get Tackett up on the screen?
Oh, he's already up there.
Oh, you got him up there.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
You already did that.
One step ahead of you, Mike. Remember, I'm steering the ship.
65 through 68 should be up on the screen now then?
You're steering it. See?
So here's EJ. We'll see if he does the DJ Archer string
Columbus
pull.
was driving the ship, and that's why he ended up in the wrong place.
There you go. And we get EJ stuffing a 9 instead of carrying the 710.
I just saw Brad Angelo take the 2.8 out of the 2.48.
I watched that. It was just off camera, folks. It was
And he
quite,
didn't chop it straight back. He sent them both to the left. That's hard to do.
Unique.
He's very talented.
And now he's sitting in a chair thinking about it.
Well, he's thinking about what's happening with him right now is he's getting a little angry, and now he's going to grind it out.
Yeah, he's got 54 in the 4th.
Well, I'm going to tell you, 54 in the 4th, he shoots 210 or better.
I was thinking 210 myself.
Yep.
Why don't you take the camera over there? Let's see how he does on his next shot.
Let's do it. That'll be Brad coming up on lane 61. Brad's sporting a Logo Infusion shirt, too.
Yes, he is. A big supporter of our brand. We really appreciate him.
Little touch on the 10, and it didn't quite fall.
I know.
Still got 220 on the board, so I guess we're still looking all right.
Yeah. He's probably just not mad enough yet.
I think so.
Mike Flanagan was trying to combine his Brad Angelo's 2 names to make him some, like, I don't know, like you know how they take couples and they combine their names, or some new word for that. And I was like, how do you take one person and try to combine his names? And I don't know, he was just hell bent on doing it.
Interesting.
I think Bradgelina is just the way we got to go with him.
But there's no Ina in his name.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Brangelina.
Brangelo? How about Brangelo?
There you go, Brangelo. That's a good one.
All right.
Brangelos.
I'm hoping he shoots 2
Oh!
teams.
Anderson.
I really hope he shoots 2 teams, or Brangelo is going to be pissed at me.
You guys had that on camera, right? The Andrew Anderson
sure
strike?
Sure did.
Andrew, I'm going to bother you right in the middle of bowling. How does it feel right now to square the 3-6 in the face and get a strike out of it?
I'm very happy about it. I've been waiting for a break like that all day.
Okay, he's been waiting for a break like that all day.
That's funny.
Flanagan, you got to invite us more often. This is like a comedy thing here. Your viewership's up. Did you see there's 42,000 people watching right now?
No, I didn't.
Wow. John Thayer says, wow, the stream just got better. Now Mike's gone. That was a little bit while ago. So.
I got a standings update after 6 games. EJ Tackett, your leader, at plus 219. 100 pins behind him. Brad Angelo at 119. Charles Easton in third at plus 108. Dave Wadka is up to plus 105.
Wow.
Brad Miller at plus 102 sits fifth. Cameron Doyle in sixth at plus 100. Seventh is Matthew Sanders at 96, tied with Jesse Bauer. And ninth is Nick Pate at plus 52. George Gohagen's in 10th at plus 30. A.J. Johnson in 11th at plus 29. And the other player plus is Kyle Sherman at plus 18 in 12th position.
Just a little update on Dave Wadka. Spare 4-bagger on the 7th game.
Yeah, he's making a run at it here. You wouldn't know it, though, by looking at his demeanor.
Again. Angel's got a strike here to get the 2-team.
And the old 2-8-10 is not going to help him get there.
Well, 91. Am I wrong in saying he can still shoot 211? Oh no, he would have to pick this up.
Yeah, he would need. Yeah. He would need the spare
80. So 200. Okay. Well, I predicted yesterday there'd only be one 300 game, and that happened. But now I predicted 2-team from Brangelo, and that didn't happen.
50%.
Yeah. I predict it's going to rain most of the day today.
Fair assessment.
Okay.
Fair assessment.
I don't even mind the rain, but I hope at 9 o'clock tomorrow when we try to fly out of here,
Oh,
it's not
don't
like
remind me. I don't even want to think
because we're going to be in this big cigar-shaped can thing, trying to fly out of here.
I don't want to think about it. I don't like flying.
I don't like it either.
Yeah.
Then again, you fly in the wind and the rain, and it just makes it all the better. You feel like you're falling out of the sky.
You know, flying in a plane, you got no control. Like, you just got to, like, hope. Yeah. I have a little prayer before every plane takes off that I'm on. I pray to God to give the pilot wisdom to steer this vessel.
Steer.
Not drive.
Not drive, yeah, not drive.
Because people drive planes in the ground, I think, but they steer them in the air.
Yes. Brangelo made a ball change. He gets a strike.
So we're going with this Brangelo thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andrew Anderson, after hitting the 3-6 square in the face for a strike, comes back, and now he makes the pins pay. He's combined that into a triple now.
Yeah.
It's a good little parlay.
He made a little adjustment there and hit the 1-3 instead of the 3-6.
Here's Kevin Williams.
It's an interesting adjustment.
See if he can pick this up. I bet he does. Oh, it's got a hook.
Everyone walks in front of this booth thinking that they're on camera, but that's the one place you're not on camera.
Let him keep thinking it's funny.
Mike Flanagan's got he's got a whole thing going on here.
One Dave Wadka.
You know, when Mike Flanagan came to the bowling center yesterday, he made me carry all this equipment in here.
We sure did.
and I didn't quite understand why I had to carry all the stuff. And then now I see the wizardry that he performs, and I will gladly drag in your equipment at any location, Mr. Flanagan.
This reminds me of Top Gun. You can be my wingman any day. Bullshit. You
Well,
can be mine.
I don't think a wingman. I was thinking more of like if you're flying the plane, I'm one of those guys that pushes a cart and I come up with your weaponry, you know, and like push it underneath the plane so it can be attached or something.
Brangelo with a double. Different ball in the right lane.
Since you want to be on a Top Gun theme.
Now, Dave Watka is using a Game Breaker 2 Phenom Pearl, which is one of the balls that you could get by entering this tournament, by the way. Is that left to target? Oh, is he going to smile? Maybe?
No.
Is there going to be any positive
Interview
emotion at
him.
all?
Go interview him.
Spare six-bagger.
Unbelievable. He was so left to target on that shot, and he said that's his break for the year.
Well, our break for the year is that he is wearing one of our jerseys.
Well, no, the break for everybody in the bowling center is that not only is he wearing one of your jerseys, but the colors of the jersey match his hair perfectly.
Wow. Well,
I see what you did
The
there.
jersey he wore yesterday matched his shoes. He's very stylish.
Brangelo there in the ninth with a 2-pin.
Dave Watka at 29 looks pretty good.
Dave Watka's going to be spending a lot of time in the booth the rest of the day, by the way.
Is he? Well, based on how he's bowling, he'll have plenty of time to do that.
Yeah, and he'll be in a much better mood. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and say it right now, and it'll come back later, I'm sure, in the chat back to him. But he's a better commentator than he is a bowler.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's a better commentator than me. That would make sense.
Wrapping up game number 7 here. Mike Flanagan here with you, joined by the guys from Logo Infusion, Brandon Allred and Ken Keegan. Don't forget you can head over to Logo Infusion through the end of May and save 20% with coupon code IBOPEN17. These guys make great jerseys. We've been talking about them all weekend. Make sure you go over and take advantage of that. IBOPEN17. Hashtag support the sponsors, as we like to say. Kevin Williams with a strike. That's a double. Maybe we can move some cameras around here, Brandon. We'll have Dave Watka up first, and maybe we can go over and cover E.J. Tackett in the ninth frame after.
I think we can make that happen.
All right. Appreciate you guys sitting in the booth, too. Allows me to go rogue and get a little more insight for the folks.
Any time there, Mike.
Yeah, I was a little scared when you left me. You were trying to leave me alone.
So here's Tackett over here on 66. Oh, that would have been a pull of the string, too, that we were looking for. John Zerbinski with a decent game going here. Where was Zerbinski in the standings?
Zerbinski was 19th.
Okay, so he can...
At minus 116.
Okay, so he's fishing around and finding a ball reaction here later in the block. Still bowling the 230s. Kyle Sherman definitely still fishing as well. He's using different balls, and there's an uncharacteristic miss for E.J. Tackett, missing the 10-pin. Now he's talking to himself. Happens to the best of them, folks.
Oh, Zerbinski.
Too bad he didn't have the 10 up there. Hate to wish anybody to leave a 7-10, but when
When
you get the bounce like that.
Lane 67. That's the second time I've seen that happen.
Watka just pured his shot. I don't know if we're on that pair or not.
No, I'm behind, Mike.
No problem. But you got EJ though right now, so.
Oh, there we go. Well, you know, we got the result of EJ's strike.
All right, 4-pin forward.
Brangelo. I was a little bit off on the 2-team.
We'll finish with Tackett here, who's going to lead.
Some of the players from the 130 squad starting to filter into the bowling center. Try to catch a glimpse of the end of the squad.
EJ with a strike and second shot at the 10th there, puts him in the 240s.
Yeah, and he's already 219 over.
He's going to be sitting just fine.
He's got plans the rest of the day, evidently.
That's a true businessman. I got a little bit of time. I'm going to make it good. Post a score, go on to the next
Take care of business.
Taking care of business. It's like a Vegas thing, taking care of business.
Taking care of business.
Yeah.
TCB.
Yep.
And a 9-pin for good measure to finish out the block.
245.
Take it back over to 61 through 64.
245, isn't that his career average in bowling?
Seems that way, doesn't it?
So it was an average game.
Andrew Anderson finishes with 233. Frangelo finishes at 166. It's a tough pair for Brad. So we'll finish with Wadka and Kevin Williams, and then we'll break our stream, and we'll come back at a little after 1 o'clock with pregame for today's 130 squad that's maxed at 108 bowlers.
Sweet.
4 times the amount of bowlers on this squad we'll have this afternoon.
Means 4 times the commentating necessary. 4 times the heckling.
Angelo had 170, 160 the last 2 games.
Dave Wadka, another strike.
260 still on the board.
He's in the 250s right now.
Dave gets this next hit here, that'll put him in the 170 over area. Pretty good score.
I think it's the belt.
It's got to be the yellow belt.
Possible 268 here.
And he gets there.
Yeah. Changing his ball roll a little bit to be playing that deep, and looks
Getting
like
a handful.
Looks like, yeah, he has definitely got a handful. Looks like he's done this before.
Once or twice, I'd imagine. Looks like he's getting it through the front a little bit, and that's what I saw Mike Kahn do towards the end of the block yesterday, is clearing the front part of the lane a little bit better.
Right.
Kind of getting it up and over. His look was pretty good, I'd say.
Yep.
Still a great game for D. Wad.
It's a good mystery number. That puts Dave at plus 169 for 7 games.
All right, that looks like the conclusion of bowling here. So I'd like to thank you guys, Brandon and Ken, for sitting in the booth. I want to thank Doug Dukes for coming into the booth as well. It's always a pleasure having you guys in there.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Looks like the time currently is 11:03. We'll be back in a couple of hours with C Squad qualifying here on Inside Bowling. We'll start the stream just after 1 o'clock, and we'll have our C Squad qualifying at 1:30. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you later on today.